So we do have time for Q&A. Are there questions from our participants? I'm checking chat here, not seeing any questions coming up. We do have our speakers' contact information. I can send that out after today's webinar ends. And so you are welcome as things come up later. I think one of our goals with this is to give you some, success stories. And so you can see how OER is being used in our classes here at UTSA. If you're at another institution, if you're working with faculty in that's looking for Spanish resources, or, is working on doing OER in math, you have contacts at UTSA that you can share with your faculty at your institution. So that was kind of one of our main goals with this, and kind of sharing it more widely with other Texas institutions. Let's see here. We do have a question. How often do high schools use the OpenStax books for their dual credit courses? That's a great question. And I will say, speaking from my experience here at UTSA, we have actually had our dual credit program reach out to us for help with identifying OER for those classes. So I know that they are indeed using OER and OpenStax books in particular in some of those dual credit courses here at UTSA. So I know that. I don't know if anyone else has anything additional or any experience to add with that.
Yeah, Deanne, this is David from OpenStax. We have, when we look at our installed user base, about 30% of those are high schools, and a very high percentage of those are dual enrollment. So it's a significant number.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, David. Let's see, we have another question. Are the resources appropriate for graduate level courses? That's a great question. I will say, I can speak from my experience working with OER for about 4 years now. There are OER for graduate level courses. A lot of the development initially, and David can speak to this too, has been with our lower level courses where we can make the most impact with those high enrollment classes. But there are OER being developed for graduate level courses and for specialized classes. And I don't know if David would like to add any more to that.
Yes. Does not have any graduate level materials, but you may want to go to a site called Merlot, MERLOT.org, and they have a much broader array of resources than OpenStax has, and I know that they have some graduate level material there. Merlot, MERLOT.org.
Yeah. I have something to say on that area. So one of my linguistics class is actually cross-listed with the graduate level class. And that was one of the challenges to have something that surfaced areas. And one of the things I did find within linguistics was a MOOC that had created a bunch of OERs, a lot of YouTube videos that treated the same linguistics concepts, but at a higher level. And so it was a way that I could have some differentiated learning when I had a cross-listed class. So depending what your objectives are. In mine, they're an intro class, so it's either intro for undergraduate, intro at the graduate level. There were resources out there. So.
Yes, and I will add one other piece to, Kayla had popped into chat the Merlot link, and that is a great resource. There's another tool called Oasis that searches multiple OER repositories at once. That's something that is also a great tool for identifying OER, and when you're first kind of getting started with digging in and seeing what's available. I can pop the link to that into chat. Are there other questions? Let's see, there was a question for the math team. No, yes, you guys are still with us here. Let's see, yeah. Did the math team find librarians useful, and in what way?
The librarians here at UTSA, the team is amazing at helping us find, and not just us in our program, but in all the math courses and the science courses that I'm aware of. We put out a request and they send us an amazing assortment of information on materials and OER that's available through just lots of different sources like Oasis. So, I would like, so beyond that and our experience there, I'd like to give Deanne or maybe Matt Hayward a chance to speak to what the librarians do in that regard here.
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about coordinating our OER effort among the subject librarians. My role, one of my roles as OER coordinator is working with our subject librarians whenever there's a new OER that's available that I learn about, whether it's through OpenStax or maybe it's an open textbook library new book. I share that with the librarian for the area. What we do also is during our promotion period for the grants, which starts in January and our grant application period ends mid-March. We send out targeted emails to instructors that teach core classes here at UTSA and Texas core classes. And what we try to do in those emails, my colleague Kayla De La Garza actually worked on this, and our student worker putting together template emails for the librarians so that when they get the email, some of them work with like 8 different departments. They're a liaison librarian to 8 different departments. So what we try to do is make it as easy as possible for them because they're also busy at this time doing library instruction and busy with their collection development roles. And so we get a template ready that has the instructors that teach the class already inserted. There's a draft email, and then there are matches that match the courses that those instructors teach. So OER matches. And our goal is to try to, demonstrate there are OER for your class. Here are some that you could look at. And I think what we try to do is, find the OER matches, but know, of course, that the professors, the instructors are the ultimate, deciding point as to whether that, material is going to work for the class. But it's a way to kind of demonstrate there is OER. Would you take a look? If you are interested, if these seem to be a good fit, then our applications for our grants are due mid-March. You could apply and your course would be a great candidate for OER. So that's kind of our main goal. That's a little bit of what we do. And we follow distribution lists. Whenever there's a new OER available, we have research guides that we have OER on for particular disciplines and for particular courses. So we try to keep on top of that. And when there's something new that's been developed, we try to share it out right away. That's one of our main goals. I don't know if Matt would like to speak to that from the science librarian perspective. Not sure if Matt is still in the webinar.
No, I'm here.
You are, Matt. Okay.
I will say Deanne is definitely the treasure finder with the OER stuff. I usually forward things to her and I review the items that she shares with me, but typically she's been much better at finding resources than I am. And I think she just is more keyed into the places to find them than me. So I just typically forward requests and like I said, kind of review the materials.
And Matt is one of our librarians that has many different departments that he works with. So typically when we send those emails out, it's like, okay, Matt, here's your 10 emails for your areas to share out with your instructors. And so it's one of the reasons why we try to make it as streamlined as possible. We know he's busy. So it's just a matter of looking over those draft emails and then sending them on to the instructors. So David is a nice compliment. The level of creativity and work being done is really impressive and inspiring, and I'll echo
Really
that.
impressive. That it makes me just want to come down to UTSA and meet with you.
We would love that. We would love that. Let's see. I don't see any other questions in chat, so I think this is probably a good stopping point. And then just to reiterate for any faculty that are still in the webinar, we do have the grants open. Application deadline is March 16th. For this year, we will have them, we'll be offering them every year. A little bit of a word about state grants. I have not heard anything from the coordinating board on when those will open. We were expecting a winter application opening date, but I haven't heard anything yet. So I will reach out to our coordinator for the state grants. With the state grants, those were, in the past, they were open to Texas core classes only, but my understanding as of last August, attending the Virtual College of Texas conference, is that they were potentially going to open that up to other courses. So that's another option that is available to you if anyone is looking to apply and interested, we have our grants at UTSA, but also our higher education coordinating board grants as well. And I think with that, if there aren't any more questions, I want to thank all of our amazing speakers, our grant recipients, our faculty. Ryan hasn't been one of our grant recipients in the past, but he's doing such amazing work with OER. And when we connected last fall, I really wanted to showcase the work that he was doing with OER, because I thought it was amazing and incredible work that we needed to share out. And thank you, David, so much for—
Sorry about the technical glitches.
It's okay, it happens. We were having some tech issues here right before that, so it was like it was contagious, and we passed it along to you.
There you go. We're all sharing viruses. If anyone needs any support or help regarding integration, please use us as a resource too. We're here to help you.
And David, would you be able to speak? I'm sorry to kind of throw this in at the end, but I know there's the transition to Google Docs, and that will be—
Yeah, I know that. So we right now, the math group mentioned this, we have this editing tool in our platform called Connections, but it's not for the faint of heart. And we kept hearing from the community that they wanted simpler editing tools. And so we're moving a lot of the content that lives in the Connections platform into Google Docs with editing capability. And we're doing that transition over this summer, and we'll have a lot more information on it then.
Awesome. And there will be like a 2-year transition, right? Before this
transition, that's right. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much.
Great.
I think that we are good. And everyone that participated, thank you so much for all of your questions. And again, I will send a follow-up email with the recording and then with the contact information of our speakers in case anyone has additional questions. So we have a nice comment from Nisha, interesting webinar, very impressed by the library's work and the adoption stories by department faculty. Thank you so much. Nancy Harris, thank you. We appreciated the presentations. Thank you, everyone, for—
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.